Hello traders, if you are looking for a good trade setup to trade this week, this weekly forex analysis is for you. The dollar index on my weekly chart failed to close above this weekly resistance. So long price failed to close above this weekly resistance. We are expecting price to retest back to this next weekly support. That means we might be seeing price pushing lower this coming week. So we are expecting price to continue to push lower this coming week. While we expect price to push lower, we can say that you see have a series of lower high, which indicate the dollar index is currently on a bearish trend. So we look for more bearish opportunity on the dollar index because we see have a very strong bearish trend momentum on the weekly chart. So let's look at the daily chart of the dollar index. So on my daily chart, now we still have this series of lower high and price close above one level of series of lower high. What we expect before we start selling now, because price is currently on a resistance level, we can start selling the dollar index to this target. If price fail to break this level, that means we might be seeing price reverse back to this resistance. But if price break this level, that means we're seeing a major drop for the dollar index this week. So our scenario for the dollar index this week, we expect the dollar index to drop this week because price rejected from a strong weekly resistance and also a strong weekly resistance level. Strong weekly resistance and also a strong daily resistance level. So we expect dollar index to drop this coming week. So let's look at our next pair, which is the EURUSD. EURUSD on my weekly chart still remain uptrend. You can see that we have a series of higher low, which indicate a uptrend for the EURUSD. So price on the weekly chart closed on this weekly support level, which indicates we are expecting EURUSD to resume its uptrend movement this coming week. So we expect price to move to this next weekly resistance level. So we are expecting price to move back to this weekly resistance level. So if price break that weekly resistance level, we expect more push to the top. We should expect price to move to this next weekly resistance level. If price break this resistance level, we expect a retest, then we'll see price pushing higher to this next weekly resistance level. So EURUSD on the weekly chart still remain uptrend. So let's go to our daily chart. So on my daily chart, you can see that price currently give us a price action setup already from the daily chart. You can see that we have a false breakout. We have a false breakout, and also we have a false breakout at this low. These two levels are false breakout, and also we also have a price action signals indicating a bullish movement for the EURUSD to the top side. So we'll be looking for our buying opportunity from this price action candle from our 4-hour chart. We are buying EURUSD with our first target. Our first target will be this weekly resistance level. Then our next target will be this second weekly resistance level. So look for buying opportunity on the EURUSD this week. So let's look at our next pair, which is the GBPUSD. GBPUSD. Let's start our analysis from the weekly chart. GBPUSD rejected from this weekly support level. This level is a strong weekly support level, and we also have a resistance at this area. So GBPUSD for us this week still remain neutral. We don't have a clear direction on the GBPUSD because previously we have a lower low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Then price close below this higher low, which indicates there's a shift in trend for the GBPUSD. Now price also closed on this resistance level. You can see that price will close on the resistance level and also rejected from this support level, which indicates we might be seeing price taking supply from this resistance. Price will take a supply from this resistance and start dropping, or if price fail to take to close above this resistance, might drop. Then if price close above this resistance level, we might see a major buy for the GBPUSD to the top. Because once price break this resistance level on the weekly chart, it shows that we now have a lower low and a higher low. Then we now have a wait for the second leg of a higher low for us to start looking for our buying opportunity. So for now, the GBPUSD still remain on a sideways trend. We don't have a clear direction on the GBPUSD for this week. So let's look at the daily chart of the GBPUSD. So on the GBPUSD this week, we are expecting price to move to this resistance level and if price break it, we might see this next weekly resistance level. But if price fail from this level, we might see the pounds start selling back to the downside. So the pounds USD for this week remain neutral. We don't have a clear direction on the pounds USD. So let's look at our next pair, which is the Australia USD. So Australia USD, let's start our analysis from the weekly chart. So Australia USD on my weekly chart have a uptrend structure. We see have a lower low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So long we have this series of higher low, this indicates a bullish trend for the Australia USD. Last week in my previous weekly analysis, I said I'm expecting a buy opportunity from this weekly support level. You can see that price closed on this weekly support level now. So what we expect this week, we have to look for a buying opportunity from this level to this next weekly resistance level. So if price break this weekly resistance level, we might see a retest, then we'll still further buy for the Australia USD. Australia USD on the weekly chart remain bullish. So let's look at the daily chart of the Australia USD. On the daily chart, last week we have a signal on this level, which is not a weekly support level. So now we have our signal on this weekly support level, which indicates we expect a major buy from the Australia USD. So we are buying Australia USD with this daily signal candle from this weekly support level to the next weekly resistance level, which is this level. So we are looking for buying opportunity on Australia USD this week. You can use your 4-hour chart or your daily chart to look to buy Australia to the next weekly resistance level. So let's look at our next pair, which is the gold USD. Let's start our analysis from the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, you can see that we still have a series of higher low. So long we have this series of higher low, gold still remain uptrend. So for us to make any buying opportunity on gold, if you watch my previous weekly analysis, I'll be expecting price to retest to this zone for me to start looking for possible buying opportunities. So long price still not retest this zone, I'll remain neutral on the gold USD until I see a clear retest of this zone with our signal on the daily chart before I start looking for possible buying opportunity for the gold to the top. So gold USD still remain bullish on the weekly chart. So on the daily chart, you can see that we still have a strong uptrend momentum, which indicates a more bullish trend for the gold USD. So what we expect this week, we still expect price to retest our level, which is this weekly level, or this level, before start looking for possible buying opportunity for the gold USD. For now, we remain neutral on gold USD until we see price from this support, from this weekly support level, before we start making our possible buying opportunity for the gold USD. So let's look at our next pair, which is the USDJPY. USDJPY on my weekly chart. USDJPY on my weekly chart still have a series of higher low on an inner structure. We have this lower low, higher low, higher low, higher low on this inner structure level. So we need a clear direction. If we can get price close above this resistance level, which is this lower high, once we can get price close above this lower high of the major structure, we expect a retest. We start looking for buying opportunities to the top. Then if we can get a close below this level, below this higher low, we start looking for a selling opportunity to the downside. So for now, USDJPY closed on the weekly resistance. So for now, we don't have a clear direction yet, because what we expect this week, we expect price to retest back to this support level. So a break of this support level might be seeing price pushing more lower for the USDJPY. So let's look at the daily chart of the USDJPY. So on my daily chart, you can also see that we now have a clear uptrend structure on a daily chart, which is we have a series of higher low. But for this USDJPY to turn a downtrend on the daily chart, we need a price. Currently, you can see that price closed on daily resistance, also a strong daily resistance. For this price to turn a downtrend now, we need a clear movement of price to create a series of lower high, close below this higher low. Then we start looking for possible selling opportunity for this pair to the downside. So USDJPY for now remain neutral. We don't have a clear direction on the USDJPY. We know that price closed on weekly resistance level, but the daily chart price also closed on weekly resistance level, but the structure of the weekly chart is still indicating more bullish trend because of the inner structure. So long as you have an inner structure of a bullish trend, we need price to turn to downtrend with the major structure before we can start selling the USDJPY. Click the link below in the description to join my Telegram group for free trading signals. If you find this weekly analysis helpful, like this video and subscribe to my channel for more trading tips and forex analysis. Thank you for watching.